Hi Jamaica Link family, my name is Luke Smith. I am a member of the Jamaica Link Ministries team, and I am here with President Reverend Dave Falconer. I know you saw a previous video with him kind of talking about the origins of Jamaica Link, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper as we walk through kind of how Jamaica Link has evolved over the years since it began back in 2001. So we're going to go into a little bit of the history, and we want to take you on that journey. What better person to talk to than the president and founder of Jamaica Link Ministries, Reverend Dave Falconer.
So if we're going to be really exact, we're going to talk about the Pennings. We're co-founders in that. But because of their early departure, then the responsibility came down to mine. Right. And to now, because we were at the place where we're going to fold. Yeah. So now it was, do we allow the devil to win? Or do we now chart forward that way? And that's one of the reasons it's very, very important to have a team. True. We want to ensure that we're giving tribute to where honor is due. So the intention was for us to continue the link, that link with our partners, and building that network of support. So we sought to, as we brought together a new board in the US, we were able now to pull together persons who were already coming to Jamaica and were known by me. And so we called up those friends and asked them to, we shared the vision. And they bought into the vision. One of those persons, Mary Biedner. Now, Mary is a very, very special person in the mix. John Blois also from New York. So Corning, New York was a central point here with North Baptist. And there are members from North Baptist that did, come in. We also had a person like Lloyd Thorpe, who was also part of the board there in the U.S. So getting back to Mary Biedner, it's very, very interesting. It's a very interesting story about Mary, because Mary, she came to Jamaica on a mission trip, was recommended by her son. And when she came, they visited Macfield Baptist Church. So that's where I met her. And it was interesting as she was introducing herself. Some persons were nurses and some persons were physiotherapists, and so different persons were just introducing themselves as their different professions. Right. And Mary introduced herself. She said, "I am Mary and I'm just a mom." And that caught my attention. Right. And I said, wow, that is nothing to be low-keyed about. And so afterwards we struck up a conversation, and I said, man, that sounded like you were apologizing for that. Don't you ever apologize for rearing up your children. That is a high calling. And so from there, we struck up a friendship. Now, interestingly, when we started hosting groups, when the whole idea, the opportunity for us to start Fairhaven, and we had on our board, pastors and lawyers and businessmen and so on, none of them were available. Guess who was available?
Mary, the mom.
Mary, the mom. That was a very, very interesting part of our development. And she, because, and I want to give honor to her husband, who allowed her, he was a doctor, and was able to afford having her be here. And so at the time they were really getting to the place where they had empty nest. And so it was a perfect timing for her to be the person. And probably if Mary was not just a mom, as she said, we probably wouldn't have been sitting here right now at Fairhaven. So it's just interesting how God works in our lives.
What local entities or organizations is Jamaica Link Ministries connected to?
We have our churches, the independent Baptist churches. We are connected to the ministers, St. James Ministers Fraternal. Right. And so we're not just connected to any one group. We believe that the church, the body of Christ, wherever you stand at the foot of the cross, we want to lift that banner high. And so the infirmary, we're about helping the helpless. We're just about, it's a very, very important thing for us that the church has a greater impact on the society. So we are seeking to form strategic partnerships. So wherever those charitable organizations, as our mission is, to help to equip under-resourced churches and charities. And so the public schools, we're there. The infirmary, we're there. Where there are community development projects, we're there. Feeding the street people and the homeless, we're there. And so we're a household name when it comes to what's happened in the charitable arena.
Absolutely. Now, one of the major things that Jamaica Link has been a part of over the past 5 to 7 years is the Global Leadership Summit. Can you tell us a little bit about how that partnership started and how the transition of bringing such a high-impact conference to Jamaica happened?
It was kind of a turning point in my own leadership journey. And I remembered I was, just at a low point in my leadership journey. And a friend introduced me to this book, Courageous Leadership. And I read the book. And when I read the book, I thought, man, I need to, this guy thinks so much like me, but he's much brighter than I am. I need to meet this guy. So the guy that got me the book said, they host the Global Leadership Summit up in Minnesota. So he invited me there. And that was 2012. Invited me to come to Minnesota to experience the Global Leadership Summit. And the moment I was there, I was hit by it. It was totally impactful. I felt like the Lord whispering in my ears and giving me a new, just recalling me into his ministry. I had a great love for the church all over again. But one of the things that, because it was so good, I wished I could have all of my colleagues be there and experience that. And so in talking to the guys, I am like, man, we need to get this to Jamaica. And so we talked to, it was the Crossroads Church with, I can remember Dave and Dan. We talked for a long time, and we just putting all of that together, we said, no, we got to do this in Jamaica. And so we brought it to Jamaica the next year.
That was 2013.
2013.
Right.
So we thought that this would be definitely having a greater impact on the society, because one of the things, there's a disconnect many times with the church and corporate.
True.
And now, can you imagine if we bring both together? The church has the heart and corporate has the money. And so, it's a winning formula. And so God, we want to steward the hearts of those in the business community to understand their responsibility in the kingdom. And so this tool, I find it as a tool. And, so since that day, I've used it as a great tool for my own personal development and just wanting to share that with as many people as possible. And that has been giving us a lot of traction as to, and recognition here in Jamaica as to, how we are giving back also to the business community, which for a lot, the business community is not as involved in the development of the kingdom as we would like to see.
Absolutely, understandable. But how has the summit evolved since it started in 2013? I know it started at the meeting place where Trumpet Call is now, and then you guys made the shift to the conference center. And how can I give me a walkthrough of how it has evolved over the years, and also how the pandemic has played a role in just how the summit is even done now?
For us, the summit is a non-negotiable. So every year we began here in Montego Bay, and the whole idea is to go island-wide. And so, like about 3 years in, we actually started the summit in Kingston. And this year, we are, this year, boy, I'm telling you, I'm kind of, mixed up a little bit with what the pandemic, has us all confused. But this year, we actually started with a new site in Mandeville. And so, and because of the pandemic, we have had to go online. But I think the online has really done a good thing for us, because now we have had a record amount of persons who join in the summit through the online platform. So it is now we are basically we have about 750 persons who were impacted, and from an average of 300, we moved actually to 750. So that has been great. So the awareness is there, and we just want to build on the momentum. And there are different persons who talk about what it means to actually be engaged and to build their leadership skills. And we are after persons, because when leaders get better, everybody wins. So the investment in leadership is a great investment. It's an exponential investment. So that is critical. So this is one of our major ministries when it comes to leadership development, and we are looking forward to what this is going to do, because the potential for transformation is great.
Before we shift gears, can you tell us though some of the leaders that have been like some of the speakers that have been brought to the summit stage over the years?
Oh man, the summit stage, there's the John Maxwell, the guru, there's the T.D. Jakes, there's the Tyler Perry. So those are some of the heavy hitters. There's the Patrick Lencioni, even George W. Bush. We had Condoleezza Rice, we had Colin Powell. So these are major
real
leaders.
High quality event that we bring here to Jamaica for a fraction of the cost that it would take to travel to the US and do all of that would be necessary to attend the conference in that way.